Hey guys, AsePlayer here, and welcome back to another Stick War 3 video. We got down, up, left, right versus Shark in Miami. Hey, is that a Friday Night Funkin' reference? Or is that a reference to the 4 cardinal directions we have? Either way, both sides are doing some, somewhat interesting things, I would say. Down, up, left, right, he's more of a order miner kind of guy, and Shark in Miami, he's more of an enslaved miner kind of guy. And believe it or not, there is actually a tactical difference to how these two operate now. Basically, how it works, nice tower by the way, is that the order miners have a little bit more HP and they're a heavy unit. Enslaved miner has a little bit less HP and they do the chaos auto heal thing, so it's actually kind of interesting. It seems like your miner selections will actually play somewhat of a role in how things go, but Shark in Miami, he doesn't want to deal with any shenanigans. He's pooping out a Castle Archidon right out the gate. Meanwhile, down, up, left, right, he's just making hella miners, and he's going for that tower spawn, because why wouldn't you? Sword Rat does a nice push-up. Miners, I don't see any push-ups happening here. You guys are faltering a little bit. But let's see. Alright, Shark in Miami, his win condition is simple. This guy needs about 10 million poison deads and like 9 mercs to do the little bubble thing. Now, obviously, his big play here is he has that the enemy units will respawn as dead if they died poisoned. So he's just trying to kill everyone with poison, basically, and a little bit of blazing bolts action. So he's got the double status effects of Doom going. Meanwhile, down, up, left, right, he just has like almost too many miners, but he's still rocking it. You know, he can attack now with a Merrick and a dead, but overall, down, up, left, right is going to have so much more money to do things. And it kind of seems like down, up, left, right's going for a similar thing, paired with a projectile barrier instead of the tower electrocution. I guess it's a Tesla tower, but like that's a Clash of Clans thing. I don't want to steal that. But he's also going for giants, not monstrosity. Important to keep that in mind. Not nearly as great of a decision, but that's okay. He's just going to be spamming toxic deads, much like Shark in Miami. And when you kill a ghost dead, I guess it doesn't turn into another dead. So that's not going to backfire on down, up, left, right's part. So that's good. But, you know, ironically, it kind of seems like these guys should have switched spells, because Shark in Miami's got the thing for tower, and down, up, left, right's got the thing for projectile barrier. But Shark in Miami doesn't have the tower, and down, up, left, right doesn't really need the projectile barrier all that much. But I guess neither does Shark in Miami right now. I mean, it is just some Sword Wrath, but here's a dead, and down, up, left, right's actually going to control it. Shark in Miami is going for the merit controlling, so he's going for, you know, bubble plays and all that. But what happens when your bubble runs out? Then you're just kind of being attacked by down, up, left, right. And he's bringing a bunch of deads to the table as well. I probably wouldn't just let the Sword Wrath stand and die there, but, you know, meat shields never hurt anybody except the meat shields. There goes the deads, getting absolutely decimated by a sword jump. But as you can see, that sword died and turned into another dead to aid Shark in Miami. It's actually a very close battle. The population's tied, and Shark in Miami, the longer this goes on, the better it is for him, because he's got those mercs. He says thank you as he steals what down, up, left, right once had. That you know, secondary tower spawn upgrade's going to do wonders for him, I'm sure, when he loses the tower. Now Shark in Miami, he's just pumping out mercs and poison deads. He knows what's good. Down, up, left, right is going to be at quite the disadvantage due to lack of merits, but he does have giants, and Shark in Miami doesn't, so it's going to be a little bit of an interesting thing. But it is important to note that Shark in Miami could just do a clutch Snow Squall and absolutely remove the entirety down, up, left, right's army, because why wouldn't 150 mana crystal dictate the entire video game? Anyway, let's see, how is the economy looking over here? It's honestly looking pretty good for all involved. And Shark in Miami, he doesn't even have miner hustle, whereas down, up, left, right does. So there's going to be a little bit of discrepancy there. It is important to keep in mind. These miners are heavy, and these deads do bonus heavy damage. So these miners are actually going to take it a little bit up the ass from these toxic deads, more so than if they were enslaved. So I guess you should have had less rights. Either way, It will be interesting to see how this stuff turns out. I'm gonna do a little bit of a fast forward. It seems like a bit of army buildings going on here, and Shark in Miami's looking to press in on down, up, left, right. But there's a giant that is like the pivotal thing of the game. This can control everything potentially. The deads are on the run. Everyone's just kind of going the same pace. So you know they'll get there eventually. But there comes the snow squall and the giant tower attack, and the giants just kind of gonna eat it for a bit. But it's not that big of a deal. It could be better though. And these merrics are kind of like tanking it for the toxic deads, and it's actually working out quite nicely for Shark in Miami. But down, up, left, right, he's gonna turn around now. He's got a second giant. You might have thwarted my first giant, but what are you gonna do about the second one, huh? Well, I mean, he's got about 1 million merrick bubbles, so, you know, stop me if you've seen this one before. But actually, none of the bubbles are coming into play. Until a good chunk of the poison deads are already dead, that giant is dead as well, and what remains is this singular dead. Now, I gotta say that Blazing Bolts is most certainly doing wonders on down, up, left, right's army. You know, it's kind of tough to deal with all of that, especially because your opponent's guaranteed gonna always just healing back up after every battle. So you kind of have to heal up after every battle, and that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's sending his boys to get a little bit rejuvenated. You know, Chaos passive heal could be a little bit better these days. And yeah, we're just gonna see the great healing going on. 6 merrics, that's honestly kind of disgusting. But what can punch through a bunch of merrics is a whole bunch of giants. Now, the lack of monstrosity is a little scary, but, you know, hear me out, okay? If you attack with 2 giants instead of 1 giant, then they can't do the same thing. So he's going to lead in with a projectile barrier. I personally would not have done this quite yet because I know this guy's going to run away from me. Like, there's no reason for him to fight the giants head on. Now, it looks like he's going to attack in with the giants anyway. He's going to be pushing the merrics out of the way. With their pure intimidation, the merrics are kind of running for it and letting the toxic deads die. Shark in Miami is not really bubbling. I'm not really sure what is up with that. But basically all the poison deads are dead and only the merrics remain. I wonder if they like heavily nerf the merrics or something, because this should not be going so poorly for Shark in Miami. And like despite this, he still has a population advantage. And it looks like down, up, left, right's going to be using some miners to do a little bit of tanking. And it did result in the death of a poison dead, so I don't think that was completely useless. But down, up, left, right, he just kind of lost his giants, which is a little unfortunate. You needed to get a little bit more value, like killing literally any of those merrics. And using a projectile barrier. You have so many projectile barrier uses. You can just kind of attack in every single time in projectile barrier, but this guy's not really using it. Instead, he's just got 3,000 mana crystal to his name and no victory. So things are going to be a little bit tough for them, actually. You know, this is one of the most interesting stick war outcomes is when both sides make mistakes, because then neither one is exactly coming out on top. But Shark in Miami, he's healing up again. He's going in again. Doesn't understand the concept of projectile barrier, but I guess neither does down, up, left, right, because he casted it on his miner who was walking back to the statue. Here comes the snow squall of the century, just kind of ruining everything that down, up, left, right wanted to do. I say that, but it didn't actually go that poorly for him. It only froze about like half of his deads or so. And look, the merrics are still just chilling behind and letting it happen. Shark in Miami's gonna have to do a little bit of user control to change the tide of battle. I would assume down, up, left, right's going for a similar thing. And now, that's the turning point of the battle right there, I would say. He's got to go on the run. He's hoping for maybe the tower to help him out. But honestly, I don't think it's going to be enough. That being said, I don't know if you would just kind of go into it willingly, but like it's not really taking care of things as quickly as you would want it to be, especially when you got all these toxic deads here. Like, you got to use the projectile barrier, buddy. There it is. Got the biggest bubble here. Things can only go well, I would assume. 3 toxic deads and like 6 merrics. I mean, the best thing he can do is kind of hold out for another tower recharge, and it looks like down, up, left, right's gonna let it happen. He's a little scared, and he's got, you know, 5,000 mana crystal, but, you know, keep mining that mana crystal. It's gonna go great for you, you know? Like, it's kind of like diversifying your economy, get into like gold and silver and stuff. That stuff will be worth so much by the time this is all over. Too bad you'll be dead, but that's okay. Value will continue to rise with or without your participation in the market. So here comes Toxic Deads and Merrick's again. Stop me if you've heard this before. Here comes down, up, left, right with 2 more giants. He's going to immediately burn his projectile barrier yet again. And Shark is coming back in. But not before he backs out and then goes back in, does a little bit of dodging and weaving. That's smart usage of the projectile barrier right there. You know, user controlling that one guy and then kind of controlling where the barrier goes. That's like certainly a very valuable thing to have. And we can see, you know, Shark in Miami, he's kind of struggling to keep up with down, up, left, right. And he doesn't have much more population to like buy Toxic Deads with. So those 3 Toxic Deads will be his last. And, you know, down, up, left, right, it's kind of in a similar situation. Here comes the great battle. I will protect a legendary Snow Squall right there. If Shark in Miami is interested, but it looks like he's not. He's instead going to let most of his deads die, and then he's gonna do it. That's pretty scary, especially for down, up, left, right, who didn't react to it. Now everything's just gonna freeze. And he's just gonna have to surrender because that one spell dictated the game. You know, to say I am disappointed at the anticlimactic ending would be an understatement. But thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.